Yeah, it is held this morning on ITV, bringing us to the Abuja Network Center, where we shall be looking at the planned imposition of 5% tax on petroleum product, fuel, and of course the AGO, and its likely effect on the economy. And of course, we'll be doing this through the eyes of two gentlemen who have joined the program virtually. I have with me, if we can go quickly to the Zoom line, we have Abubakar Sadao, who is an economic and political affairs analyst, is with us virtually. And of course, we also have another expert to look at this, the convener, New Direction for Nigeria Movement. He is Comrade Mark Adebayo. He's also will be discussing this with us virtually. But before then, let's quickly take a look at what the opposition political parties are saying concerning the planned tax on petroleum products. That's the fuel and the AGO, which will be, of course, deducted at the retail which will be deducted at when retailing. That is to say, when you are buying from filling station, if you buy up to 10,000 naira, 5% of that should be able to give you 500, and so you pay plus 500, and so it is when the amount increases. And so let's quickly take a look at what the PDP and of course the ADC is saying concerning the plan imposition of 5% tax on these products.
Come in and say we are endorsing you. Like I said, endorsement is not on the pages of newspaper. Endorsement is in the people, and people that cannot feed their families. Now we're in the school season resumption, people are panicking, and there's people are complaining because they can't get their money, they can't even pay school fees. That is increasing. Added to the anxiety of the fear of another tax and levies, the infamous 5% tax on every petroleum product that they're saying is coming in January. They constantly putting Nigerians in a panic mode. That can be governance. And that's exactly what the reality we have today. But thank God the PDP is back, fully set, taking the National Convention as its platform to launch it back to Nigeria. And the Nigerians are waiting eagerly. And that's why each time we speak, they're excited. They are anxious to get us back to where we are.
Okay, that of course was the PDP National Policy Secretary, Honorable Debo Olegunagba. Of course, he made it clear the infamous tax on petroleum product is really going to plunge Nigerians deep into poverty. Now let's go to the spokesman for the ADC, Alhaji Bolaji Abdullahi, who of course he also berate the government on this planned imposition of 5% tax on petroleum product.
Although recycled politicians, who politician in this country is not recycled? Mention one politician in this country that has not been to one party or the other, or have not held one position or the other. And are we going to manufacture a new political class overnight? It's the same recycled people that will do politics in Nigeria. And we're not going to bring foreigners to play politics in Nigeria. So by the time I've listened to his rhetoric, and like I said, it's wrong, it's divisive, it's inflammatory, and it should be condemned. Because he keeps saying north, south, these northerners. Who talks like that? And this is someone who, no matter how ridiculous, aspired to be a president of Nigeria, and is promoting such divisive and rhetoric. Regardless of the technical correctness of your policies, if it's going to break the back of your citizens, what do? You said no. You say no. But what they are doing is doubling down and telling us that it is the right thing to do, that they have to take tough economic measures to stabilize the economy. that people have to make sacrifices. They just say continue to suffer. Continue to suffer. It's going to be tough. Meanwhile, while they are telling us to suffer, they are living the life of obscene opulence. Their convoys keep getting longer. They keep spending money on unbelievably white elephant projects.
All right, now an economic and political affairs analyst, Abubakar Sadao, is with us virtually. A very good morning to you. All right, quickly, let's get your opening remarks concerning the planned imposition of 5% tax on petroleum products.
Okay, thank you very much. Good morning to you and good morning, Nigerians. Well, I think in my opinion, as regards to tax of petroleum products, well, I think it's actually coming at the wrong time. But let me speak from my candid opinion. There is nothing wrong about tax or tax reform. One of the most important things about government and people is about trust and confidence. By the time the citizens have confidence and trust on their government, I can tell you that any tax or reform they are bringing, the citizen will have confidence on them and based on the previous experience. So, and there's also an issue of timing. At what time are you reforming your tax? At what point do you want to impose a certain particular tax? You see, looking at Nigerian situation, from all ramifications of economic indices, the Nigerian economy, honestly speaking, I can say that it's in ICU. So people should understand at this time, it is not time for government to begin to put more weight while already everybody is already overburdened by high inflation rates, by high prices of almost everything. So I think the reform is not an issue, but the timing is ill at this time. And secondly, I don't understand the objective of the economic team of this administration, because government is all about the people, the welfare of the people, making people live comfortably. So at this time, when I think Nigerians are suffering from all cardinal points, north, south, west, east, center, wherever you call it, there is no part of this country that everybody is feeling the pain and the heat. So now I think, from my own candidate opinion, it is not time for you to add more heat to the already existing fire. So it's not an issue. One. Number, an issue of is the very easy thing to do. It has been done even. Let me speak from the history that I know. In northern Nigeria, we've been paying tax even before amalgamation of Nigeria. That is why people don't understand the northern architectural landscape. Every emir's palace, you realize that by the right side of emir's palace is always a market. Meaning that in those days,
Prince there is trying to make the point on taxation, which to him has been there with us for a long time, and is trying to draw that from the north, where, of course, we know in most emir palaces there are markets close by. Those markets, if you come to buy or sell, to an extent you pay some amount of money as tax for selling or buying from the market. And I know that is called jangali, to an extent in the north. And I'm sure same thing is applicable to the southern part, where you have to part with some amount of money from what you made, from using the market or from the produce that you have sold. Some amount of that item, be it in cash or in product, will be given to representative of the authority, be it an Oba, an Igwe, or an Alafin, to an extent, those were heavily practiced in the country. It is not an issue that is somewhat alien to Nigerians. But what we must know is what Dan Sadao is saying, that there is a trust deficit, and the citizens believe that this may be another way of shortchanging them. There are many aspects, there are many proposals, there are many taxes already ongoing, and the effect of that is not yet felt. And if you add another one, you may just be going the purse or the pocket of certain individuals. And to an extent, the timing for that may not be now, but when is the appropriate time to actually impose tax of that nature on Nigerians, on motorists? Yeah, when is the appropriate time? Because we know specifically that tax to be used for road construction, and if you use the Nigerian roads very well, you know that from Lokoja, Okene, Auchi, of course the Epoma, and then Beningwe is not as smooth as you have it in the FCT, and of course some part of Lagos. Of course, if you go down from Abuja to Kaduna, just after Jere, you are going to Kaduna. It's not too good of a road. But of course, from Kaduna to Kano, you can even close both eyes as you drive through. The road is very, very nice and smooth. And same thing if you're going from Kefi to Akwanga, the road is also good. No, we can, just point out some of those areas that are good and those that are bad. And to fix those roads, the government, in its wisdom, is saying that act of 2007, giving to FEMA 5% of petroleum tax to fix the road will come in effect sometime next year, 2026. For this,
Radio for Independence Anniversary Public Lecture. Topic: Anchoring Nigerians' Democracy.
Let's take a short pause. When we come back, I'm sure the technical issue will be sorted out and we'll continue. Many thanks for staying tuned to ITV. Before the break, we're looking at the planned imposition of 5% tax on petroleum product, and we have an economic and political expert with us virtually, Abubakar Sadao. Abubakar, if you can hear me, you're making a point on the fact that tax is not a new thing. Even way back in the north, it was in practice, by the emirs.
Okay, so like I was saying, it's actually not a new thing, but it's just the two major cardinal points. One, timing. At this time, I think it's not actually the right time for government to bring in this policy. Then, secondly, is the issue of confidence. Does the citizen have confidence on the administration or the government that the tax generated will be judicially utilized? You see, before government, I think, can come up with any reform of any nature, one of the most important things always to do, some of these things that National Assembly used to do, but we don't seem to understand to what extent did they do that. That is the public hearing. You need to get public opinion. This is democracy. At least if you do sample polls, you will realize that majority of people will tell you that it is not at the right time. One. Number two, if the economic team think they have some technicalities or reasons why they feel they can ride on the general opinion, at least you should share to people the evidence base of why you think now is the best time for this. One. Number two, and to what extent can the government give us the confidence that this money generated will be utilized? Because the citizenry have been seeing what other sources of income coming to the government, how it's being expended. So I think it's all about government trying to understand the level of confidence the citizen have in itself. So for me, I think basically are these two things. Now is not the best time for this to come because the economy is terribly heavy on people. I'm a businessman. I know what.
Okay, Abubakar.
Every time citizens of Nigerians blame business people for high price of things, people don't understand the multiple taxes we pay. You pay taxes for some local government, you pay tax for state, you pay tax for federal government. Even at federal government, people don't seem to understand. There was a time we have to begin to explain to tax collectors. Sometimes it will realize that even the VAT, people are even paying almost twice. How?
Okay, Abakar.
Twice? When somebody imported something abroad, you realize that the custom will give you the levies you are going to pay, they will tell you VAT and what have you. And at the end also, from the company selling the product, you also have to pay VAT. So you realize that people are paying VAT at the beginning of the value chain and they are paying VAT at the end of the value chain.
Okay, now, Abakar, let's look at this. Let's look at this.
Need for stakeholder engagement, the real practitioner and the business people, so that government can actually hear from the public side. Not only the economic team of small cycle of people, a very small fraction of the population will always sit down and be deciding for a population of over 200 million people. I think
okay, Abakar.
On this.
Abakar, I think your point is clear on that, but let's also address an issue. We know this tax is about revenue generation to fix infrastructure, and you believe this is not the right time. When is the right time to generate revenue for this particular purpose? When do you think the federal government can begin to collect these taxes?
This tax reform, at least when the economy is stable, when the per capita income of the country at least is to some extent favorable. You are not at a time when even the minimum wage of the country cannot feed a bachelor. The minimum wage of this country now cannot feed a bachelor. No bachelor can live on 70,000 naira. Even in some places, the 70,000 is not even paid. So at least when the economy is favorable, there are times when you can bring in this policy. I can tell you that the citizen will not even have time to even listen. You will even impose it without them even knowing. The reality is that government must always come down to the grassroots to understand the pictorial reality of Nigeria. So the best time for this, I repeat, is when the economy is stable. When will the economy be stable? When at least a citizen can averagely live. Not when we are living, at least we are telling us that an average citizen is living below $1 per day. Below $1. That is relatively about 1,550 or 170 thereabouts. So, but when the economy is stable, I can assure you, Nigerians will not revolt on this.
The next question is that when
is becoming undefined to everybody.
Yeah, of course. The next question will be answered that when will the economy be stable? You are an economist, and we have seen from different postulations of some philosophers. Some will say, if you are talking about full employment, it means that we'll all be dead. And some say, no, you cannot wait for full employment, you can start it now. You understand? So when will the economy, bounce back to the extent that Nigerians will begin to live above $1 per day?
Okay, so that is the work of the economic team of this administration. But to us, experts, what we advise is, how can Nigerian economy be stable? It's a very simple thing. Nigerian economy, most people don't understand, is an agrarian economy. The major source of income of Nigeria comes from agriculture, north, south, every part of Nigeria. That is the major, at grassroots level. So the moment at least government give enabling environment for companies to add value to our agricultural produce, they will create jobs. When they create jobs, it will improve the economy of the citizen. One. Number two, by creating value addition, companies, that will add value to our agricultural produce, so that Nigeria should stop exporting agricultural produce. Nigeria should export finished products, because that will create jobs, that will enable government to collect more taxes, because more corporate organizations are going to come on board. Then at that point, when at least the rate of unemployment of Nigeria drop at least drastically, and when an average citizen of this country at least can afford 3 square meals, and it's highly possible. So I think at that time, that is when government can bring in this. And also, to do this is not a magic thing. So many countries have done it. I've been telling government it is very easy for us to understand. Let me give you an example. Nigeria, we import almost over 70% of what we use in this country, apart from our food. Most of our finished products are imported. Most of the things you see in your office, is it paper, you're talking about pens and what have you, we import. We import even toothpick. But let me tell you, at the clearing point, an average 40-feet container, you have to pay 18 million naira to clear one container, even if the goods did not worth more than 3 million naira. That is the issue. You import something of worth 3 million naira, but you have to clear the container at 18 million. So that 18 million is going to add up to the cost of that product. That is why people are seeing high rate of
So, Lansalo, let's leave it there for now. You've got a colleague who is also with us virtually, Comrade Mark Adebayo, is the convener, New Direction for Nigeria Movement. Very good morning to you, and you're welcome to the program. Let me just start quickly by asking you where you stand with the planned imposition of 5% tax on petroleum products.
Well, thank you. Good morning, viewers. Well, you have used the appropriate term by saying imposition. So if anything is imposed, it supposes that it is being forced on the people, that it is being that the economy, the governance system is being manipulated in a way as to compel the people to do something that is against their will. Already the economy is under severe pressure. It has been under severe pressure for the past 2 years plus. And now you are now bringing in another tax. Now, if you make transactions on your bank app, even for 10,000 naira, they will say, later your bank will send you deduction. They will say they deduct federal government levy. If you do anything on your prepaid meter, they will deduct VAT. If you anything, the Tinubu administration is tax-based. It's just overtaxing the people. Double taxation, triple taxation, quadruple taxation, quintuple taxations, just to make sure, it is like this government is in place to ensure maximum suffering for Nigerians. Because I can't understand, any of their policies they are doing is just to inflict maximum suffering, maximum damage on the economy of individuals. Now, they will tell you prices of goods and services and prices of food are coming down, but the more, which is not true anyway, the more Nigerians are losing their purchasing power. Nigerians are losing their purchasing power. Especially the common man on the streets does not understand the grammar about inflation rates coming down to 22%. But he knows that he has been buying the bread that he used to buy for 500 naira is now buying at 2,500 naira, and it does not come down. He knows that the fuel he was buying for less than 200 naira. He's now buying for 1,000 plus. Now, that is the economics of the people. But the data of the government that they release just to, more or less palliate the people. It is often false, it is often fake, it is often incorrect. What people know about the economy is that how much they buy pepper and tomato and garri and yam in the market has remained high in the market. And the purchasing power of the regular Nigerian is coming down and down. People are less, are being disempowered in the economically to be able to buy things that they used to buy freely. Even if you have seen the report of going back, students that are going back to school, many parents are withdrawing their children and wards from schools now because they cannot afford to pay the increase because all the public schools have increased their tuition. They have increased their tuition from primary, from nursery to primary to secondary to tertiary. So how many Nigerians are able to afford that? So the taxation, this new thing they are bringing, is absolutely insensitive and is wicked and is damaging to Nigerians.
All right, so Comrade Mark Adebayo and Abubakar Dansadao, I'm afraid this is where we end this discussion segment. You know, time is not our friend here, but hopefully some other time we'll have both of you again to look at similar issues. I must say thank you so much for your time with us on the program this morning. So it's time now to go to Lagos for their own part of the program.